How are you guys doing? Today is Monday, April 4th, 2022. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to do a championship profile for the 2021-22 South Carolina Gamecocks, as they had an incredible season from beginning to end. As yesterday, they were able to win the March Madness tournament for the second time in their school's history. The first time they were able to do it was in 2017 when Aja Wilson was on the team, and she went on to win the WNBA MVP after that. And of course, following right after her is Aaliyah Boston, who went on to win the National Player of the Year, as well as help lead a very talented South Carolina Gamecocks team to a 35-2 record. And despite the fact that they did end up losing in the SEC tournament to Kentucky, they still would go on to win this tournament. They went on to make sure that this season would not go to waste. Last season, they would end up falling just one shot short of making it to the national championship. This time, they would correct their wrong and win their second championship in their school's history. Of course, this would come after they finished their season with a 15-1 record on the year. They would go into this tournament they would go in with a 29-2 record. Their very first matchup would be against 16 seed Howard. This came after Howard would win their play-in game versus Incarnate Word right before all the teams would have to play. Against the 16 seed Howard Bison, South Carolina would win 79-21. They would win this game by 58 points after they outscored them 22-2 in both the first and second quarters. They were up 44-4 at halftime. They were then able to outscore the Bison 16-4 in the third quarter. They would then go on to be up 16-8 at the end of three quarters. They would win this game 79-21. In this very first matchup, the South Carolina Gamecocks would be led in scoring by their starting forward, Aaliyah Boston, their junior from St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands. She would go on to finish with 10 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 blocks in 18 minutes. She shot 4 for 7 from the field, and she shot a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Also leading the team in scoring off the bench was Sanaya Fegan, their freshman from Ellenwood, Georgia. Their forward would finish with 10 points and 7 rebounds in 14 minutes. She shot a perfect 3 for 3 from the field, and she would shoot 4 for 6 from the foul line. This would be their first game that they won on their home court. This would lead to their second game on their home court against 8 seed Miami. In this matchup, they would go on to beat Miami 49-33 to ensure that they would finish this 2021-22 season with a 16-0 record, as they were undefeated at home for the year. They would win this game by 16 after outscoring Miami by 10 in the second quarter. They were up by 13 at the half. And then taking a look at who would lead their team in scoring in this particular matchup, South Carolina was led in scoring by their center out of Brazil, Camila Cardozo. Their sophomore out of Montes Claros will go on to finish with 11 points alongside 8 rebounds and 4 blocks in the 22 minutes she played. She shot 4 for 9 from the field and 3 for 5 from the free throw line. In South Carolina's starting lineup, the National Player of the Year, Aaliyah Boston, will go on to finish with 10 points and 16 rebounds, as well as 4 assists in 35 minutes. She shot 4 for 15 from the field and 2 for 6 from the free throw line to help them make it out their first weekend. Looking at their second weekend, they would play their Sweet 16 matchup in Greensboro, North Carolina. In this matchup, they would face off against 5 seed North Carolina. And in this matchup, they would beat the Tar Heels by 8. They won it 69-61. They would win this game by 8 after outscoring UNC by 9 in the second quarter specifically. In this matchup, South Carolina was led in scoring by Aaliyah Boston. Their junior from the Virgin Islands finished with 28 points, 22 rebounds, and a couple of assists, as she shot 8 for 13 from the field. She shot 12 for 13 from the foul line as well. Their guard, Zia Cook, their junior from Toledo, Ohio, will go on to finish with 15 points. She also was able to finish with 2 steals. She shot 6 for 16 from the field and 3 for 7 in this matchup. Also for South Carolina, scoring double digits in her first matchup for the tournament, Destiny Henderson, their senior out of Fort Myers, Florida, will go on to finish with 13 points. She shot 5 for 17 from the field as she shot 3 for 10 from three. After this win, South Carolina this was their halfway point, three of their 6 wins. Going into their second matchup in Greensboro, they would face off against 10 seed Creighton in the regional final in the Elite Eight. Against Creighton, they would win by 30. They won it 80-50. They outscored Creighton by 21 in the first half. They were up 46-25 at the half. They were then go on to outscore Creighton 34-25 by 9 points in the second half to win this game. On the winning end of this matchup, South Carolina was led in scoring by Aaliyah Boston, the Women's National Player of the Year. She finished with 19 points and 7 rebounds in 28 minutes. She shot 7 for 9 from the field and 5 for 8 from the free throw line. Their starting guard, Destiny Henderson out of Florida, finished with 12 points and 3 steals in 29 minutes. She shot 5 for 9 from the field and made both of her threes. Their starting guard, Bree Beal, their junior out of Rock Island, Illinois, will go on to finish with 12 points herself. In the 22 minutes she played, she shot 5 for 9 from the field and made both of her free throws. And also playing in down low, their forward Victoria Saxton, their senior from Rome, Georgia, will go on to finish with 11 points and 11 rebounds in 21 minutes. She shot 3 for 6 from the field and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. After the second weekend, South Carolina would then qualify for the Final Four. After they made it to the Final Four, they would face off against the 1 seed from the Wichita region, the Louisville Cardinals. This came after Louisville won their Elite Eight matchup against 3 seed Michigan. South Carolina would then go on to beat their first one, the only 1 seed that they would play against in this tournament, the Louisville Cardinals. They beat them 72-59. They won it by 13 after they outscored Louisville by 7 in the first quarter and then by a combined 7 points in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 1 seed Gamecocks were led in scoring by their National Player of the Year, Aaliyah Boston. She finished with 23 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 assists in 35 minutes. She shot 8 for 12 from the field. She made 1 of her 2 threes on the night, and she shot 6 for 7 from the free throw line. South Carolina's starting guard out of Rock Island, Illinois, Bree Beal, will go on to finish with 12 points, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. She played 32 minutes as she shot 5 for 7 from the field, and she made both of her free throws. South Carolina's guard out of Florida, their senior Destiny Henderson, will go on to finish with 11 points and 4 assists in 38 minutes as she shot 4 for 12 from the field and 3 for 6 from 3. Their forward out of Georgia, Victoria Saxton, had 10 points and 2 steals in 22 minutes. She shot 4 for 6 from the field and made both of her free throws. And then South Carolina's guard, Zia Cook out of Toledo, Ohio, would finish with 10 points herself. Every single player in their starting 5 was able to finish with double digits as South Carolina was able to advance to the national championship game, where they were able to face off against 2 seed UConn out of the Bridgeport region yesterday. This came after UConn won their Final Four game against the defending champs, the Stanford Cardinal, the 1 seed out of the Spokane region. South Carolina would beat the 2 seed UConn Huskies 64-49. This in the midst of UConn's 14th straight trip to the Final Four. South Carolina would go on to beat UConn 64-49. They won this game by 15. They outscored UConn 22-8 in the first quarter. They were up by 14 at the end of the first quarter as this game was, I don't want to say over before it was over, but they were able to get that advantage out early. And on the winning end in this matchup, the South Carolina Gamecocks were led in scoring by their senior out of Florida, Destiny Henderson. Their senior from Fort Myers would go on to finish with 26 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals in 34 minutes. She shot 9 for 20 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and she shot 5 for 6 from the foul line. South Carolina starting guard, Zia Cook, Their junior from Toledo, Ohio, would finish with 11 points and 5 rebounds in 30 minutes. As she shot 5 for 13 from the field and 1 for 2 from the foul line. And in what may have been her last collegiate basketball game as the player of the year, South Carolina's forward from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, Aaliyah Boston, would finish her 2021-22 season, finishing with 11 points and 16 rebounds alongside 3 assists and 2 blocks in 35 minutes. She shot 3 for 8 from the field and 5 for 8 from the foul line. This is a big win for South Carolina, the second win in their team's history. They finished with a 35-2 record as they sent UConn home with a 30-6 record. This coming after South Carolina initially lost in the SEC tournament, but this would still go on to be a very memorable season for the Gamecocks and a very big year, of course, for the team. Congratulations to them. And, of course, with that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to all 11 minutes of this piece. Congratulations to Gamecocks, of course, led by Coach Don Staley. Congratulations to, of course, Aaliyah Boston, Destiny Henderson, every single player on this team that helped make this team, of course, a championship team. Every single part of this, every single part of this team helped made it go. And this will be the last time I call the women's college basketball, at least until the tournament next year. But until then, I want to thank everyone for following along for each round. And with that said, once all of today's exhibitions and matchups are done, I will come out with more episodes tomorrow. And hopefully we'll see what South Carolina does in this upcoming season. We will see if they come back in 2022, 2023 as repeat champions. Once again, today is April 4th, 2022. I'm James Sims. This is The Elite. I want to thank everyone for listening. I hope all is well, and I will catch you with another piece after this. Peace out, and thanks for listening. And, of course, congratulations to the 2021 and 22 South Carolina Gamecocks team.